The new Cakewalk Sonar free tier is here, and I'm here to explain it. This video is sponsored by DistroKid. Follow the VIP link in the description down below to get 7% off an already amazing price to distribute your music to the world. In 2017, Gibson, who owned Cakewalk at the time, announced that they would no longer be developing it. Then in 2018, we learned that it had been acquired by BandLab, and they were releasing a free version of it called Cakewalk by BandLab. Fast forward to 2023, and we heard that Cakewalk by BandLab would now be entering a kind of a maintenance mode, and they were releasing a new paid version of it called Cakewalk Sonar. Now, we've subsequently learned that the way that you could pay for it was with a BandLab membership, which includes lots of other things as well. Now, in the last couple of weeks or so, they've announced a new free tier for Cakewalk Sonar. And they've also announced that soon you will no longer be able to activate your old Cakewalk by BandLab. Now, I've observed some confusion in the community during the last couple of weeks. So in this video, I'm going to attempt to answer what I think are the top 5 questions that I've seen on this topic. What will happen to Cakewalk by BandLab? Well, if you've been using this software, you'll know that it was required that you had a BandLab account and that you used that to activate the software periodically. Now, don't quote me on this, but I believe that activation period was 6 months. So every 6 months, you would have to reactivate the software. Now, importantly, what they've announced is that after the 1st of August 2025, activation or reactivation will no longer be possible. But they have said that existing activated installations will continue to work until that activation expires, which, as I say, I think is 6 months. Now, the long and the short of it is that eventually your Cakewalk by BandLab installation is no longer going to be activatable. Is that a word? I think it is. And it will be save disabled. You won't be able to export from it, etc. So eventually, if you want to continue to use the Cakewalk product, you'll either need to use the new free tier or use the paid Cakewalk Sonar. So what is Cakewalk Sonar free tier? Well, basically, as you may have guessed, it's a cut down version of Cakewalk Sonar. But I want to emphasize at this point, I don't feel this is like a really crippled version of that software. It's not a situation where you're going to think, realistically, I have to get the paid version to make a professional sounding production. That's not true at all. You still get like unlimited tracks. You've got your audio, you've got your MIDI, you can use VST plugins, still got ARA support, it's still got the Pro channel, it's got loads and loads of good stuff that you expect to see in a Cakewalk product. But there are a few things worth making note of. First of all, when you first open it, you get a 10-second splash screen. So it's a good time to be plugging in your mic, your guitar, and just preparing for your session, whatever it takes you 10 seconds to do. The next thing that you will notice is that you can only have one arranger track. Some of you are going to be thinking, what's the arranger track? Because many of you have used this product for years and years and perhaps never even used this and made some great productions. So I think that one's absolutely fine unless you have a specific need for it. We don't get any per plugin oversampling. You can't use power dithering when you export. And I guess that's going to be something that a lot of you are going to think, didn't know that existed. Anyway, the track manager and jump to track panes, these are kind of newish features, are grayed out. You don't get the Elastic Pro stretch mode when you're talking about doing sort of like audio snapping and things like that. and you don't get access, or you can't use the BandLab library of like sound loops. You can preview them, you can browse them, you just can't make use of them without a paid membership. And I think that for many of you, you're going to be thinking, like, none of those things are going to make any difference to me whatsoever. So that's great, in my opinion. Now, we don't know whether they're going to add new features in the future to the paid product, which are not going to make it through to this free tier. I'm going to suspect that's probably going to be the case, because otherwise, what's the point in the paid product? But, you know, the core functionality that we get here is the functionality that you can use to produce a professional sounding recording. Will my old Cakewalk by BandLab projects open in the new free tier? Well, the answer to this is yes. And in fact, I've tested this myself and had no problem whatsoever. Can I install the free tier alongside Cakewalk by BandLab? The answer is yes, you can do that, and they both continue to work perfectly fine. Now, the one thing I did notice during installation was that my choice of where I could install my VSTs, etc., was grayed out. I don't know whether that's because it was just using the choices that I had already set up in Cakewalk by BandLab. Don't quote me on that, but I suspect that may have been the case. In any case, once you've got the new free tier installed, you can go into preferences and set up all of your VST locations anyway. How offline friendly is Cakewalk Sonar? Now, many people like to use their music production PC offline, not connected to the internet. Now, me personally, it's been quite a number of years since I felt the need for that, but it is your choice, so you may like to know. And I've seen just a little bit of confusion about this. You don't need to be online to use Cakewalk Sonar. You do have to obviously activate it, and for that you'll need an online connection. But once you've activated it, you can go offline and Cakewalk Sonar will continue to work. It's important, however, this is a mistake that I've seen some people make, that you don't actually sign out. That will sort of remove the activation. So you just need to momentarily be connected to the internet, do your activation, and then you can disconnect your computer from the internet until the next time activation is required. Now, don't forget, when you have created your masterpiece and you want to release it to places like Spotify, Amazon, Google Play, etc., follow the link in the description to our sponsor DistroKid. If you follow that VIP link, you'll get 7% off of your first year of membership. Also, don't forget to let us all know in the comments down below how you feel about this new page in the history of Cakewalk. Thank you so much for watching today. I'm Mike. I hope you're well, and I'll see you in the next video.